Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Today I would like to present about teaching pronunciation using various materials and practices. But before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Saputra. And before we start, I want to ask you, how do you respond if you have a conversation with someone have bad pronunciations? Maybe first I want to ask Okta. How do you respond to that?
I will respond when someone have a bad pronunciation, conversation, right?
Yeah.
I try to understand what it's saying. I try to understand, and maybe I would like to ask her or him to try to talk again what they try to ask or try to pronounce, and I will help him or her if he had a bad pronunciation or something wrong with the words. So I try to help her or him to correct the pronunciation and the words.
Thank you, Okta. Maybe last I want to ask Clara. How do you respond to that?
My response to bad pronunciation is I will tell he or she to slow the word forward to understand more.
Okay, thank you. Next slide. Okay, introduction. This research discuss how teachers can improve the way students learn pronunciation by using creative and diverse teaching materials. Pronunciation is one of the most important parts of learning a language because it directly affects communications. This research discuss how teachers can improve the way students learn pronunciation by using creative and diverse teaching materials. Pronunciation is one of the most important parts of learning a language because it directly affects communication. If students cannot pronounce words clearly, people may misunderstand them, even if their grammar or vocabulary is correct. For example, imagine someone says, I want a beer. I want a bear, but instead of I want a beer, although the grammar is correct, the wrong precision changes the meaning entirely. This shows how crucial it is to teach pronunciation effectively. Many students are afraid to speak English because they worry their pronunciation is bad, and this fear prevents them from practicing by making pronunciation listen more enjoyable. Students will feel more comfortable and motivated to learn. The study focuses on using different material like games, tongue twister, and listening activities to make learning more interactive and less intimidating. Example activities. The teacher can use tongue twister to make learning fun and challenging. For example, seashells by the seashore. This tongue twister help students practice tricky sounds like sh and s in an enjoyable way. Um, Move on to the next slide. Background. Thinking problems. Many students are afraid of making mistakes when speaking. Teachers often focus more on grammar and vocabulary than pronunciations. For many years, language teachers prioritized teaching grammar and vocabulary, while pronunciation was often ignored. This led to students who could write and read English well, but struggled to speak or understand spoken English. Poor pronunciation can create barriers in communication, especially in real-life situations like ordering food, asking for directions, or having casual conversations. For example, a student might say free instead of tree or tree instead of tree. These small mistakes can confuse the listener, making it hard to understand what the student means. Pronunciation is not just about saying individual words, it also involves the rhythms, intonation, and stress of entire sentences. Learning these patterns helps students sound more natural and fluent. Additionally, many students feel embarrassed to speak because they fear being judged for their pronunciations. This makes them avoid practicing, which slows their progress. By creating a safe and enjoyable learning environment, teachers can help students overcome these fears and develop their speaking skills. Okay, sorry. For example problem. If a student say, "Can I have a beer?" but pronounce it as "Can I have a bear?" it could lead to misunderstandings. Teaching pronunciation help avoid such mistakes. Next slide is objective of the study. The first one is create varied materials. Design tools and activities to make learning pronunciation more exciting and interactive. The second, introduce correct spellings. Help students understand the relationship between how words are spelled and how they are pronounced. The third is encourage communication in English. Motivate students to use English in real life situations, focusing on fluency and confidence. The study aims to address the challenges students face in learning pronunciations. Traditional teaching methods, such as repeating words or reading from textbooks, can be boring and ineffective. By using varied materials like role playing, interactive games, or listening exercise, teachers can make lessons more interesting. This encourages students to participate actively, which improve their learnings. Another key goal is teach students the connection between spelling and pronunciations. English is known for its irregular spelling rules, which can confuse learners. For example, the word love is pronounced as love, not love. By teaching these differences, students can avoid common mistakes and build a stronger foundations. Finally, this study emphasizes the importance of encouraging students to practice speaking in real situations, such as ordering food, asking for help, or introducing themselves. This builds their confidence and makes learning more practical. Example, teacher can create a classroom exercise where students practice ordering food at restaurants. For example, student A, hello, I'd like to cheeseburger and soda, please. And student B answered, sure, that will be $5. This activity helps students practice pronunciation in real life context. Next slide is approach to teaching pronunciations. The initiative approach is simple and effective for beginners. Students listen to how words or sentences are pronounced and try to copy them. This helps them develop a natural sense of rhythm and sound without needing to learn complicated rules. It is a good method for young learners or beginners who are just starting with pronunciations. On the other hand, the analytic linguistic approach provides a deeper understanding of how sounds are produced. This approach uses tools like phonetic symbols, articulation charts, and diagram of the mouth to teach students the mechanic of pronunciation. For example, students might learn that in the sound it thinks. It's made by placing the tongue between the teeth. This method is useful for more advanced learners who want to understand the technical aspect of pronunciations. Example comparisons. For the shift, intuitive, the teacher said shift, and the student repeat until they get it right. Another thing, the teacher explained that the sound is made by running the lips and letting air flow gently. The next slide is types of teaching materials. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the first is phonetic trainings. Learn the sounds of the International Phonetic Alphabet 88. Next is reading aloud. Practice saying sentences with correct pronunciations. Listen and repeat. Students mimic what they hear. And the fourth is tongue twister. Fun sentences to practice difficult sounds. And next is awareness raising activities. Focus on rhythm, stress, and intonations. Next is spelling and dictations. Understand how spelling affects pronunciations. And last is ear trainings. Learn to recognize different accent and sound patterns. Using a variety of materials help keep listen interesting and effective. For example, phonetics training introduces to students to the IPA, which is like a map for pronunciations. Reading aloud improves fluency when listen and repeat exercise help with muscle memory for producing sounds. Tongue twister are fun way to challenge students and make them laugh, which reduce anxiety. Awareness raising activities focus on teaching students the rhythm and intonation of English, which makes them sound more natural. Spelling and dictation exercise teach students how to match the written and spoken form of words. Finally, ear training prepares students for real world conversation where they might encounter different accents or speaking styles. Example activity. A tongue twister like red lorry, yellow lorry help students practice the difficult R and L. That's right? R and L. Sounds, which are often confusing for non-native speakers. Maybe you can read this example.
Red lorry, yellow lorry.
Okay, thank you. Next slide. Methodology. Okay, I have 5 methodology. The first is research time, qualitative analysis, focusing on studying teaching materials and syllable. The second is data source, pronunciation models, and course level from English classes. And this is a framework used to present classifications for categorizing teaching materials. And next is self-simultaneous communicative approach for evaluating pronunciation strategies. The methodology explains how the research was conducted. The researchers used a qualitative approach, which means they analyze written documents like teaching modules and syllable to understand how pronunciation was being taught. They look at the types of exercise, the structure of the lessons, and how well these materials match establish their theories in teaching pronunciation. The study also used 2 main frameworks to evaluate the materials. The first, Terguget's classification helps categorize teaching activities into types such as listen and repeat, reading aloud, or tongue twister. And next is Murcia's communicative approach focused on whether the listen encourages real-life communication and fluency, not just accurate pronunciation. These combinations allowed the researchers to determine whether the materials were effective and how they could be improved. Example of analysis. Suppose a pronunciation model includes a listen and repeat activity where students practice words like cat, bat, and hat. While useful, the researchers may suggest adding activities like role-playing conversations to make it more practical for real-life situations. Next, we move to key findings. Traditional techniques used are still popular. Methods like listen and repeat are widely used because they are simple and effective. Fluency activities are lacking. Most materials focus on accuracy or correct sounds rather than fluency or natural speaking. And last is interactive methods build confidence. Activities like reading aloud and tongue twister help students practice pronunciation in a fun and engaging way. The study found that traditional methods, such as listen and repeat, are still a core part of pronunciation teachings. These methods are useful because they are easy to use and effective in helping students develop basic pronunciation skills. However, these methods often focus too much on perfecting individual sounds and neglect fluency. Fluency is just as important as accuracy because in real life situations, the ability to speak naturally and smoothly is more valuable than sounding perfect. For smoothly is For instance, someone with slight pronunciation mistakes can still communicate effectively if they speak fluently. The study also highlighted the importance of interactive methods like tongue twister and reading aloud. These activities not only improve pronunciations but also make students feel more confident and motivated to speak. Example finding. If a student practices the sentence, I don't want to sleep, but accidentally say, I don't want to sleep, traditional drills can correct this. However, adding a dialogue-based activity where students practice full sentence in conversations can help them avoid similar mistakes in real life. Recommendations. Combine traditional and modern methods. Use traditional techniques like listen and repeat along with modern tools like apps and online platforms. Focus on fluency. Design exercises that encourage smooth and natural speaking, such as role plays or group discussions. And last is incorporate real life scenarios. Create activities that simulate everyday situations to prepare students for real conversations. The study suggests combining old and new methods to create a balanced approach. Traditional methods like listen and repeat are great for building foundations, but they need to be supplemented with more dynamic and practical exercise. Using apps, tools like Duolingo or Elsa Speak can make learning more engaging for students, especially outside the classroom. Fluency focused activities are also essential. For example, students can practice dialogue or our group's discussions to improve their ability to speak naturally and smoothly. These activities help students overcome their fear of making mistakes because the focus is on communication rather than perfections. Finally, incorporating real-life scenarios makes learning more practical. For instance, role-playing activities like ordering food at restaurants or asking for directions give students the confidence to use English in everyday life. Example activity. Role play exercise to simulate the shopping scenario. So as you can see, have a conversations. Okay, okay, next slide. Oh, you got the oh, okay. We want to paint the background. So maybe I will explain more about background until the end. Background. Key problems. Many students are afraid of making mistakes when speaking, and teachers often focus more on grammar and vocabulary than pronunciation. For many years, language teachers prioritized teaching grammar and vocabulary, while pronunciation was often ignored. This led to while pronunciation this led to students who could write and read English well, but struggled to speak or understand spoken English. Poor pronunciation can create barriers in communications, especially in real life situations like ordering food, asking for directions, or having a casual conversation. For example, a student might say free instead of three or three. Instead of three, these small mistakes can confuse the listener, um, making it hard to understand what the student means. Um, Pronunciation is not just about saying individual words. It also involves the rhythms, intonations, and stress of entire sentences. Learning these patterns helps students sound more natural and fluent. Additionally, when Many students feel embarrassed to speak because they fear being judged for their pronunciations. This makes them avoid practicing, which slow their progress. By creating a safe and enjoyable learning environment, teachers can help students overcome these fears and develop their speaking skills. Example problems. If student can I have a beer, but pronounce it as can I have a beer, it could lead to misunderstandings. Teaching pronunciation helps avoid such mistakes. Next slide is objectives of design. The first is create varied materials. Design tools and activities to make learning pronunciation more exciting and interactive. The second is introduce correct spellings. Help students understand the relationship between how words are spelled and how they are pronounced. The third is encourage communication in English. Motivate students to use English in real life situations, focusing on fluency and confidence. The study aims to address the challenges students face in learning pronunciation. Traditional teachings methods such as repeating words or reading from textbooks can be boring and ineffective. By using various material like role-playing, interactive games, or listening exercise, teachers can make listen more interesting. This encourages students to participate actively, which improves their learning. Another key goal is to teach students the connection between spelling and pronunciations. English is known for its regular spelling rules, which can confuse learners. For example, the word love, Laugh, you know, in Indonesia we say tertawa. Sorry, it's pronounced as love, not love. But by teaching these differences, the student can avoid common mistakes and build a stronger foundations. Finally, the study emphasized the importance of encouraging students to practice speaking in real life, in real situations, such as ordering food, asking for help, or introducing themselves. This builds their confidence and makes learning practical. Next is approaches to teaching pronunciations. First is intuitive imitative approach. Students listen to the teachers or an audio recording and repeat what they hear. Focuses on natural learning without explaining technical details. The next is analytic linguistic approach. Students learn about phonetic symbols like or articulation diagrams, explain how sounds are made using scientific methods. Um, the intuitive imitative approach is simple and effective for beginners. Students listen to how words or sentences are pronounced and try to copy them. This helps them develop a natural sense of rhythms and sound without needing to learn complicated rules. This is a good method for young learners or beginners who are just starting with pronunciations. And next is conclusions. The conclusion emphasizes the importance of pronunciation in language learning. Students with clear pronunciation are more likely to succeed in communicating their ideas, even if their grammar or vocabulary is not perfect. Teachers should aim to balance accuracy and fluency so that students can speak both correctly and naturally. To achieve this, lessons need to include a mix of traditional and interactive activities. Traditional drills are useful for mastering sounds, but interactive methods like games, role plays, and apps makes learning more enjoyable when students enjoy their lessons. They are more likely to practice and improve. Example, if student says, I like your work, but pronounce it as I like your walk. Aggressive focus drills can help them fix the sounds. However, will However, fluency exercise like practicing full conversation will make them more comfortable using English in real situations. So, I think that's all from my explanations. And it's time to give a question for me. If you have questions, please feel free to ask me. Okay, now please stand up and introduce yourself.
Alright. Thank you, Aril, for your explain about your material. So my name is Romina Situmarang. I have a question for you about your journal. Why is learning pronunciation important for students?
Thank you, Mina. So, like I said before, learning pronunciation is important because it helps students to communicate clearly and ensure that others can understand them. Poor pronunciations can cause misunderstandings, even if grammar and vocabulary are correct.
Alright, thank you. Sorry.
You're welcome, Mina. Next questions. Okay, Vivian.
Okay. Well, I want to ask, how can using foreign materials make pronunciation easier to learn?
Thank you, Vivian. How can using fun materials make pronunciation easier to learn? Fun materials like game or tongue twister make learning more enjoyable and reduce students' fear to making mistakes. This encourages them to practice more and gain confidence. You get the point? Okay. Next questions, please. Bintang.
Right, so the question is, what are the main problems students face when learning pronunciation?
Well, students often feel shy or afraid of making mistakes, which make them avoid speaking. Many also find pronunciation difficult because it has been neglected in teaching compared to grammar and vocabulary. Okay, please, Siti.
Alright, thank you for your opportunity. So I have a question. Why do some students feel shy about speaking English?
Thank you, Siti, for your questions. Why do some students feel shy about speaking English, right?
Yes.
Students feel shy because they fear their pronunciation is incorrect, and they worry about being judged or misunderstood by others. That's my answer.
Thank you.
Okay. Next questions. Okay, Melda, please.
So, what is the goal of introduction for spelling in pronunciation?
What? Sorry?
What is the goal of introducing correct spelling in pronunciation?
Alright, thank you, Melda. The goal is to help students understand how words are pronounced based on their spellings. As English spelling can often be confusing. For example, love is pronounced as love. You get the point? Thank you. Next, Barry. This.
Thank you, Aril, for opportunity. So, I have a question. How can real life communication exercise help students improve their pronunciation?
Real life exercise like role plays, simulate everyday conversations. These activities help students practice pronunciation in context, making it more natural and practical.
Alright, thank you.
Okay, please, Kanya.
So thank you for the opportunity. My name is Anya, and in your presentation, I heard about intuitive, initiative approach and the analytic and linguistic approach. So my question is, what is the difference between the intuitive imitative approach and the analytic linguistic approach?
Okay. The intuitive initiative approach focuses on listening and repeating sounds without explaining how they are made, while the analytic linguistic approach uses phonetic symbols and articulation charts to teach the mechanics of sounds. Who's next? Yeah, B. Please stand up.
Okay, my question is why is it useful to combine these two approaches in pronunciation results.
Yeah, thank you for the question, sir. Combining the approaches is useful because the intuitive methods builds natural listening and speaking skills, while the analytic methods provide a deeper understanding of pronunciation rules and patterns. What's next? Okay, Sandra, please.
Okay, thank you for the chance. I want to ask you, in my experience, I ever see and look at the students who read aloud can improve their pronounce. So, can you give me example or impact why reading loud can improve the student pronounce? Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Reading aloud helps students practice intonations, rhythms, and stress in sentences, making their speech sounds more natural and fluent. Thank you, Sandra, for your questions. It's making me. Okay, please.
Okay, my question is, what are tongue twisters and why are they useful for learning pronunciation?
Okay, good questions. Tongue twister are fun sentences with difficult sounds. For example, like I said before, seashells by the seashores. It's hard for me, but I they help students practice tricky sounds and improve clarity in speaking. Next questions? Or okay, Melda, please.
So, what is air training and how does it prepare students for real life communication?
Um, Ear trainings help students recognize different accent and sound patterns. This prepares them to understand various ways English is spoken in real life situations. Enough? Any questions? I got Octa. Yeah. Speak louder, please.
Why is fluency that's important as accuracy in learning pronunciation?
Okay.
Okay.
Fluency ensures that students can speak smoothly and be understood in real life conversations, even if their pronunciation isn't perfect. Focusing only on accuracy can make students hesitant to speak. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you, Octav. I think that's all from. Sorry. Any questions? Oh, really? Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Aril, for this opportunity. So, my second question is, how can interactive methods like role plays or group discussion build students' confidence?
Okay. How can apps or online tools make pronunciation lesson more engaging for students? App and tools like Elsa Speak or Duolingo provides instant feedbacks, interactive exercise, and audio examples. They make learning exercise and fun, especially for self-practice outside the classroom. I think enough. Um, okay, last question. Anya, please.
So this is my last question. So you suggest how to use Duolingo and also Speak. And how can those apps can make pronunciation lesson more engaging for students?
Okay, sorry. Okay, how can apps or online tools make pronunciation lesson more engaging for students? That's your question, right? Apps and tools like Elsa Speaks or Duolingo provide instant feedback, interactive exercise, and audio examples. They make learning accessible and fun, especially for self-practice outside the classroom. Okay, the last question is from Yuda.
Where does your teacher include real life scenarios in
Oh,
pronunciation?
what a good question, Yuda. So, the answer is relaxed scenarios like ordering foods or asking for directions help students practice pronunciation in practical context. This prepares them for everyday conversations and build their confidence. Okay, maybe that's all from question sessions. So we move to the comments and comment session. So if you have comments or critics, please feel free to, to tell me. Maybe the next presentation I will be improve that. Okay, who's going to be first? Okay, Mina, please.
Alright. Thank you, Aril, for your presentation for today. I think the presentation for today is very good. You relax, interact with the audience, smile, and overall your presentation for today is very good.
Okay, thank you, Mina. Good thing. Okay, Mary, please.
Aril, this is my comment for you. So your presentation for today is really good. Well, you had identified us as a audience and smile every time, and you had body movement do this and then like that. And you master your presentation.
Thank you,
It's
Mary.
good. And well, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, clap.
So I have a comment for you. Firstly, I like your material. I can and then you explain your material so I can understand. And then you have a good posture and body movement and very good. So and yeah, you have a contact with the audience. So overall, for me, is your presentation is very good.
Thank you. Two more, maybe. Okay, Agnia.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. So I think your presentation is really good. Good job for you.
Yes, thank you.
You speak really clearly and loudly, and you and you try to interact with audience, and you always smiling. Yeah, you. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, maybe last subject, please.
For the first, thank you for your performance today because I can see from the PPT you give us with design so very interesting and attractive for me, and then with language basic can I understand because I'm basic in English, so I can get your point. And then next for your articulation, I think it's so clear, and then you contribute with us interaction and compliments with you answer the question very well. And but I want to tell you, this is just a little, as you can, there's nothing as breaking. I think that's not a big problem. That's just for in the future you can make the as breaking so that the presentation not too monotone and not boring for us. I can enjoy and do practice again. I think so far.
Thank you so much for Sandra, all of the audience. I think that's all from our presentations. Good afternoon.